Pumped that you are here. Lean in with me, please. Hey, hey, come on in, join me. So good. Hello, hello. So today I want to really nurture an idea in your mind. Okay? Come on in. Come join me. I want to tell you about a secret that when you are aware of it, it will absolutely change your perspective on everything. Have you ever wondered why you might set out to do something, to accomplish something? Maybe it's a new job, a new relationship, more money, better health. You just like pour everything you've got into this and you get like nothing in return. Feels like nothing in return. Likely this has happened in all areas of your life. Why? Well, first, it's happening in all areas of your life, whether you recognize it or not, because how you do one thing is how you do all things. When you are in the habit of showing up this way in your work, you're this way in your relationships or your health or your money or whatever. Guaranteed. You're slacking here, you're slacking everywhere. On some level. Okay? And also, I want you to understand that you cannot give what's not in you to give. Okay? You cannot be generous and give away what you don't have. And to be perfectly honest, when I first heard that quote, you can't give what's not in you to give, it took me a little bit to really understand it, to embrace it, to admit that was totally me. So this is where I want you to do things like this too. I want you to really get honest with yourself. Have you ever heard of the law of circulation? Okay, so this law, it specifically says you can't give what you don't have. You can't keep what you don't give. And you can't sustain what you don't receive. Okay, so for example, if you put a message out there in the world that I'm not worthy of attracting something worthy, then the world will respond back in the same manner as the message. Okay, so if your message to the world is constantly to give to you, then the message you receive is sort of the same. Like if you're constantly take, these are the messages that you're going to feel constantly taken from. Everything's a reflection. Okay, and you will always feel like you're kind of just like struggling, maybe being neglected, feeling that you don't have enough because of the pressure to give back to the world and what it's demanding of you. Does this make sense? The opposite is also true because there's always an opposite, right? If you shift your mindset and your energy to how can I serve you, which like our universe, it runs on service. Like we think that work was made for us to like earn a living so that we can buy stuff and survive. But that's not actually true. We weren't made for work. Work was made for us so that we can serve. not so that we can just get by. We are made to serve. But most humans are in the habit of take, 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 take. Little go getters. We need to be little go givers. Okay? It all starts with you. You can only give what you have in you to give. You can, if you give this service wholeheartedly. Okay, say you're in the business of serving others. Right? And where there's business, there are always guests and customers. And guess what? You will inevitably come across a challenging customer. Inevitably, it's guaranteed. And it can never be easy, right? So when you come up against these difficult clients, you have a choice to either respond positively or respond negatively. Okay, and if you have any sort of resentment, anger, frustration building up inside of you, it's because of the negative energy that flows inside you. It actually has nothing to do with the other person. We'll blame the other person. Oh man, I totally lost my crap because that guest or that client did or said or whatever did this. You wouldn't have lost your crap if you didn't have that energy flowing to and through you. Right? And the energy that flows through you, it's not positive or negative. It just is. Energy just is. And we're all made up of it. We make it positive or negative. Right? If you take ownership over your energy and how you respond to people, you get to choose positive or negative. And when you respond positively to a negative situation, you have the love within you to give away. You're not angry, you're not frustrated, irritated, because you're not exercising that negative energy that can flow within you. You're not giving the negative energy. You only see the positive. You only see the good. And you might doubt yourself, right? If you're in the habit of just constantly being aware of the negative energy that's around you and flowing in you and through you, you might think, like, how can I possibly produce and give positive energy or love when I don't have it? Okay, the reason people are not good at giving love is that they don't have it in themselves to give away. You cannot give love to others if you don't have love within yourself, for yourself. It's not in you to give. You have to love yourself first to allow that positive energy to flow out, to show you and show everybody else what you have to offer. This is why I am committed to working with people on their self-image. It's not self-esteem. There's lots of people with high self-esteem with a very poor self-image. Said the majority of Hollywood. Right? We have two self-images, the one we project and who we actually are. But what happens, and this is where, and I see this a lot in parents, in moms, right? We have these babies, and then we're just like, we're told, like, I can't tell you how many times I heard during my first pregnancy and my second pregnancy, Oh, it's not just about you anymore. It's not about you. It's not about you. I remember I adopted it. I thought, oh, shit, it's not about me anymore. And I took it on as my truth. And then guess what? I spent the first, I guess they were 2 and 4 by the time I was so burnt out, so burnt out because I was just giving. Give to work, give to my husband, give to my kids, give to my family, give. I was burnt out. I had every reason to be ecstatic with life, and I wasn't because I had lost who I was. I had nothing left in me to give, and yet I kept just giving. I thought I had love for myself. And for the people that like hung out with me, I was happy and chipper and like high energy. But on the inside, I'm telling you, I was garbage, like just garbage. And I felt it. And it was starting to impact, right? So I had opportunities every day. I mean, with a 2 and 4 year old, I had opportunities every day where I had a choice that I could take things positively or negatively. And I was giving all my positive energy out here to maintain perception. And guess who was getting the garbage? My people. And I thought, man, I'm just going to I just need a day to me, or I need a vacation, or it had nothing to do with that. I had to start discovering who I was again and put away that book of little things that people say to you when you have kids or when you start the big job or when you do this or do that. I had to put that little book away, and I had to it was so simple. It started with me. So I started pouring into myself. Started pouring into myself. Started studying me. And I stopped thinking about how much I should receive. And I just realized how to give to others after filling my own cup. After filling my own cup. Okay? You will only find everything you need out here when you first found it in here. This life, you guys, it's an inside out job. That's not a cliche saying. And if you're going, oh gosh, here goes Delynn getting all fluffy on me again. It's because you haven't done it. And I get it because I used to say the exact same thing. Those meditating hippies out there, what do they know? Till I became one. And guys, I'm so much happier. Way more balanced. Show up as a mom the way I want to show up as a wife the way I want to show up for as a coach the way I want to show up. But if there's something going on outside of you, don't look to anybody else. Look in the mirror. You are the beginning and the end of every single problem you have. And it's so freaking easy for us to be like, oh, it's this person's fault. It's my manager's fault. It's my team's fault. It's my husband's fault. It's the government's fault. And we just start putting blame. What's that going to do? Guess what? Your managers are going to come and go. That's anything I learned about working in corporate land for 15 years. They're going to come and go. The government, they're going to come and go. They're doing their own thing. That's what the constant is that you get your entire life. For the 100 years that you're boring that meat stick, you get you. You're the common denominator. So doesn't it make sense that you have to pour into you first. Does that make sense? Eckhart Tolle, he said, you cannot receive what you don't give. Overflow determines inflow. Whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you already have. But unless you allow it to flow out, you won't even know that you have it. And that includes abundance. If you want to start switching this really, really quickly, first start studying yourself. This is why we have a group that we study first thing in the morning. We have a couple groups. And they start at like 6 a.m. Eastern, 5:30 actually, to be exact. Don't worry. I've had people get started with us that were literally in tears going, what? I gotta wake up. And now it's habit. And it feels so good to fill your cup before you like release yourself out to the world and give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. I don't know what other like super awesome sayings I can give you, but it's the truth. And yet we try to all the time. And when it doesn't work and we're burnt out and unhappy and poor and hate our jobs and live in unhappy marriages and like are super unhealthy, we just look back and go, how do we get this way? Again, just go look in the mirror. It starts and ends with you. My health, my relationships, my bank account, my business, my everything, it starts and ends with me. I own that. 100%. So first, be intentional about filling your cup. And it doesn't come in the form of a vacation, because I promise you, I did that. I was like a weekend warrior all the time. Like work hard, play hard all the time. And then I would take, a week here, vacation, a week here. And guess what? Within 3 weeks after my 1 week vacation, I was burnt out again. What if you created a life that you didn't need a vacation from? And you can still do it in your current relationships. It's not that you have to completely make over your life. You can do it with your current job, with your current relationships, with your current, because the only thing that'll shift is you. You're not trying to force change on everybody else. They'll rise with you, I promise. I promise. They'll rise with you. And practice then that law of giving. It's not just something that happens for a season. You get to decide to do it all year round. When it's in you to give, express yourself. And if the idea of giving all year round makes you super uncomfortable, sit in it. Sit in it. Sit in that discomfort until you move past it. Okay, and instead of worrying about giving more than you can afford, understand that the more you give, the more you will receive. It feels really good to give, doesn't it? And our universe is set up this way. It's not that you have to create something. It's already set up for you. You're just not tapped into it. Okay, the universe wants you to have an abundant life. I know, despite how you grew up, despite the relationships that you witnessed growing up and all the stuff. And it's always got your back. It wants to support you to make it a reality. But it cannot and will not do it alone. We have to do our part. And we do it through giving to others after We have it in us to give. This is one of guys, the most powerful principles I can ever teach you. And when you see it in action, like when you're aware of it, you'll go, "Oh, I get it now. I get it." When you don't get it, the result is burnout. Burnout, bankruptcy, divorce, I don't know, all the opposites of thriving. But it's simple. But the law of giving says you must give to yourself first and and then give of yourself without expecting anything in return. See, most humans, and this is like a whole other topic for another day, but most humans are in the habit of trading. I'll give you this if you give me this, or I'm going to give you this, and like I kind of just know that you'll give me something in return. What would it look like that after you filled your cup, you had it in you to give to others, that you just gave without expectation? Okay, understand we live in an ocean of motion. Okay, nothing stands still. There's this constant energy flowing through us. The flow of money, relationships, opportunities. But your money, your relationships, your opportunities, your health, they live in the mirror. You want to change those things? Go look in the mirror. Okay, but your thoughts and your actions are constant. You're constantly thinking. You have like thousands and thousands and thousands of thoughts that go through your mind in a day. You might remember 30 of them. But you constantly are thinking, making decisions, and then taking action based on that. But it's this constant exchange. Okay? This includes like money, right? Like money, like everything else, it's just energy. Like a calorie is a physical unit of energy. A dollar is a unit of value as energy. Okay? And we exchange money for something of value. Okay? If you hoard and like stop the flow of energy, right? If you have a story in your mind that there's never enough, then you're stopping the flow from coming in. This is why you have to be aware of what's actually in you, what beliefs are in you. If you want more money, start giving money. And you're like, "Ooh, I don't know, it really doesn't make sense." It doesn't make sense because that's how you were trained to think. Okay? Your return is in direct proportion to what you give. And it's not, so for example, I like to tip the bill. Okay, anybody who's watching that's ever been my server, you know this. I love, love, love to tip the bill. Okay, bill comes in, I already know what the tip's gonna be, whatever the total of the bill is. It's so fun to do. Okay. And do I expect, I do it because it's fun and it's an easy way to give, right? And I love how I'm impacting like the service industry. Cool, right? But at the same time, do I expect that server to like give me something? No, I don't. Well, I do it without expectation, period. But it's I can tell you since like injecting little things like that into my life, just little opportunities. I have been rewarded abundantly. Okay, so even things like a prayer and expressing appreciation, these are forms of giving, and you will get back in direct proportion. But understand it has to start with you. If you want love, have love for yourself. If you want abundance, believe you're worthy of abundance, give it, and you'll get it back. It's like a boomerang. It's not a frisbee, it's a boomerang. And it comes back every single time. So I want you guys this week to start playing around with this. I want you to pay attention to how full your cup is. I remember seeing a meme one time on social media, and it was like a picture of a person standing there, and you know where the battery on like your phone or your computer's like dying, how it turns red, right? And they were just like black and white, and their feet were like red, like their battery was running low. And it said, "You wouldn't let this happen to your phone, so why do you let it happen to you?" And I remember thinking, that's a really good analogy. Yeah, we do it all the time. Some of you are actually functioning, high functioning, burnt out people. Just doing your thing, all burn out. But you can have more. Just get it in you first. If you guys have questions about this, I want you to drop them in the comments, because this is a juicy topic that I promise you, when you dive into it, it's like just game changer. And it seems, I remember thinking it was like kind of counterintuitive. I remember thinking, I don't have time to give to me. I don't have time to fill my cup. I got people to take care of. I have humans that rely on me. I have a job. I have clients. I have this. Blah, blah. Promise you, the moment it's in you to give, and you're like vibrating at this whole new frequency, it's like the easy button. It's like you just hit it and it just got easier. So if you guys have questions, I want you to post them in the comments. Thank you guys for joining me today. Hello there.